Hello, let me go over the solution for homework number 7. Uh, the homework number 7 was related to non-parametric, and there was 4 questions. The first question, I asked you to uh, look at the test. We have an anxiety score for 10 nursing student, and we wanted to do median test. There was no directional key. So the first question, the hypothesis would be the population median is 50 versus the population median is not 50. It was two-side test. And what is the p-value for binomial test for this problem? Again, here your hypothesis testing, and we wanted to score positive if the value is greater than 50 and negative is less than 50. So 54 was greater, so we assigned plus, and 55 the same. 50 was the same, got 0, and then 33 was negative. So since the sample distribution is binomial with n10 and p equal 0.5, since we have two-side tests, we needed to calculate either the probability positive greater than negative, and then probability positive less than negative. So what we could have done, here we have one negative, so we could have calculated probability x less than equal 1 with the binomial 0.25 and n10, and then from binomial table, if you look at 0.5 and n10 less than equal 1, you would get 0.0107. Since we have two sides, we multiply that by 2, you get 0.0214. And again, when you compare that p-value to 0.05, because it's less than 0.05, we reject and we conclude the population median is not 0.05. So the correct answer for B was 0.0214, and 1 was the correct answer for the C part. And what is the parametric test? There was one sample, so it would be one sample test, t-test, or one sample test. Now, the second problem was before and after a score, which is matched per test. Again, here there was a keyword decreasing after sort of there was intervention. So we wanted to see if there was decrease. So the part A1 was correct answer. So using what is the Z statistic sign rank test, if you look at it, again, you take the difference, 50 minus 54, you get -4, 32 minus 35, -3. Then you put the sign. The number of positive sign was 3. That is your D. Since D is less than n, which is 10 over 2, less than 5, then you use the plus. If it was more than D was more than 5, then you would use negative. So basically, you use that formula, replacing n, you get -0.95. And because it's one side at the alpha 0.05, you're comparing -0.95 is not less than -1.645, or the absolute value 0.95 is not greater than 1.645. We failed to reject the null, and we cannot conclude that the alternative. Also, using the other test, Wilcoxon sign rank test. So the correct answer was -0.95 and 1 for C. For the Wilcoxon sign rank test, so you take the difference, then you would rank the absolute value. If you have two values the same, you average those. So For example, 3 and 3, that's the reason we got 3.5. So, and then you put the sign back, and then you sum the negative value, sum the positive value. The positive value is 7 plus 2 plus 3.5, which is 12.5. Then you're using these values. So T is your sum of positive value. So you get negative 1.53. Still, that is not less than 1.645, and you fail to reject for that statistics. So again, the negative 1.53, and you since that is negative, you fail to reject. And the problem 3, I ask you, let's say we have 2 groups, male and female, for question 2. What statistical test you would use? The difference for male female, you would use Wilcoxon sign rank test. Experiment is correlation. Cross-Caldwell is when you have more than 2 group, and again, and what parametric test you would use? You use 2 sample t-tests with the difference of after and before anxiety score. Question 4, I ask you to look at the sales output and find the test statistic for part. This is your Kruskal-Wallis test. Its chi-squared is 1.49 is the answer. And now, what is your conclusion? This is your p-value, 0.4736. That is much larger than alpha. So the result, there is no statistical significance. So that is the correct answer.